All right, I'm sitting here with Top Shelf, and she's from the Pacific Northwest near Mount Rainier, you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What brought you to the AT? Why the AT?
Well, I've done a lot of hiking out west coast and like Intermountain West, and I figured it was about time I got more acquainted with the East.
Okay. All right. And you told me you already did the PCT?
Yeah, I did the PCT and I've done the CDT.
And when did you do those?
Through hikes, the first through hike of the PCT was 2014 and the through hike of the CDT was 2016. But I've done a lot of like sections of the PCT because it's, I don't know, I call it like my home trail.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how have you enjoyed the AT?
You know, I've enjoyed the AT. Like, I feel like I kind of brought a pretty big mental, emotional load with me onto it, which I think can get like projected onto the trail. Like, oh, the trail's hard, the trail stinks or something. But, you know, really it's about your state of mind. So I think like now that I'm like more than 2 months in, I can genuinely say I really am enjoying myself.
You're enjoying it?
I mean, the AT has too much charm to resist for too long.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the things I'm the most surprised by is the variety of like terrain and culture. I think people talk a lot about the roots and the rocks and the green tunnel and whatnot, which is partially true for sure, but I like there's so much like character individual to each state.
Right.
You know, and like then the states really like, you know, take pride in that and like, you know, their section and the clubs and there's just like, I mean, I can see why people hike this trail over and over because you can do it like a different way every time.
Yep.
You know, even just like hiking all the white blazes, like you can go to different stops, you meet different people, you know, there's different hostels open each year.
Yeah, they open, they close, and you meet.
Up north in Maine, I went to a bunch that are only been open like a year or two.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite hostel up there?
You know, there's some, I don't know that I have a favorite because they're all kind of unique and, you know, like there's some of the really well-known ones like Shaw's that have like a ton of people, and then I mentioned Camp 43 in Rangeley.
Right.
I like the kind of like intimate, like just handful of beds because you just feel like you're part of a family.
Right.
You know, like you're like sitting at their dinner table, like eating with them, and it's just like, there were 6 beds, but there were only like, how many of us were there? There was like a trail family and 2 individual hikers. So it's just like, you know,
cool.
and then
so
the
cool.
hosts. Yeah, it's so cool.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Sobo instead of Nobo? Why Sobo?
You know, I like the solitude and I really like hiking. I like shoulder season hiking instead of like the entire hike being in like high season or summer. And I'm really glad I did it. Up north, you know, I kind of have gathered now, like they get some rain in the summer and fall's drier.
Right.
And then of course it's quite buggy, humid. So to me, a month of that in August was enough. And then it kind of transitioned to like slightly drier, slightly cooler temps, much less bugs.
Right. Do you think that has a lot to do because you live in the Pacific Northwest where you get a lot of rain and you just didn't want to get into that here?
Maybe, yeah. I do like arid climates. Yeah, I do like hiking in the desert. Yeah,
there you go.
You're right.
Yeah, I figured that. And you mentioned that you met 2 of my friends on the trail, Moon and Tie-Dye.
I did meet Moon and Tie-Dye.
That's pretty cool.
Like, I was very, very happy to meet them. Yeah, Moon was like, I saw your eyes light up when you saw my pack, you know, and I was like, I haven't seen through hikers, and so, I mean, they're not through hiking this year, but they've through hiked before, so they just had that, like, that through hiker spirit. Someone in a town was like, how can you tell when someone's a through hiker? And I'm like, oh, you can tell. You can tell. But good luck explaining it. You know, you could kind of say gear. I'm like, no, to me, it's just like a look.
Right.
You know.
That's true.
And I'm like, I could tell they were either through hiking this year or have.
Right.
You know.
Right. They have,
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they said 2021.
But they did a big long section. They did 73 miles. They did it all in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It was great. It was great seeing them. Yeah.
If you had one tip for a hiker, through hiker next year, what would that be? Let's say a new through hiker in 25 on the AT. What would you say?
On the AT.
On the AT. Let's talk the AT.
Okay, well, I know everyone always says like hike your own hike, but I think a lot of people say it without really like embodying what it means. And I do really think you gotta like stick with yourself and find what works for you.
Okay. That's cool.
Mileage wise, gear wise, you know,
Right.
it's not all about, you know, trying to do 30 miles a day.
Right, exactly.
There's a lot more to be had out
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, but talking about mileage, how many miles a day are you averaging? Would you say? Average.
I like to do around 20
Okay.
at like the
That's
most.
a lot. That's a
yeah,
lot.
Yeah. I really enjoy like having my time in camp in the evening.
Right.
Not like, I'm not like a 4 p.m. setup, but like I like, you know, to be set up before it's dark.
Right. Makes
and
sense.
Do my camp chores, and in the morning, you know, like I make coffee, and I'm not like headlamping it and trying to like be out of the tent at like first light.
Right.
You know, I wake up at first light.
Right. So you just take your time, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I like to stay on trail a lot. Like I like to do, I don't do many zeros. I like to kind of like narrow in or narrow out.
Sure.
If places have the option to tent, I really enjoy tenting. I kind of like to like mentally, emotionally stay on the trail, if that makes sense.
Yes,
and that
it
kind of
does.
helps me with that.
Yeah.
For me, like hostels and hotels and staying inside kind of breaks up the flow, and then I kind of like lose motivation, and I like genuinely love living outside.
Okay.
You know, like so it's fun to like talk to people like you guys and have the food and, you know, just some of the
It's an experience.
Yeah, have some of the experiences of kind of town or amenities,
Right.
but then like, you know, I'll either sleep outside here or be on my way.
Yeah.
Either way, you know, works. Yeah.
Last question. How'd you get your trail name?
How did I get my trail name? It was from PCT 2014. A friend of mine gave it to me in the Mojave Desert, and it had to do with me sharing some really fancy local garlic butter that I had packed out in a glass jar with a group of people.
Okay.
So they were kind of giving me flack for,
So it was top shelf stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, you know, you're top notch. Oh, fancy. Yeah. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for visiting with me, and and enjoy your journey.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good chat.